Welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to make a very basic junk journal, perfect for beginners. And I'm actually going to use my kit that you may have purchased already, and that's how you found your way here, or you may like to purchase it after watching this video. There'll be a link in the description below where you can purchase this off my website if you've already purchased it at an in-person event. Thanks so much. So let's get into it. Firstly, I'm Rondell from Rondell Designs. I have an art, stationery and ceramics business based on the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria, Australia, and I'm super passionate about sharing creativity and basically just enabling people who might be a little bit nervous about trying something creative for the first time, or maybe you're new to junk journaling and you're not really sure where to start. There's a lot of videos out there, and some of the journals that you can make are quite complex and detailed, but let's just start with a really simple one. Firstly, what is junk journaling? Junk journaling is generally where you're creating a journal or you're buying a journal and filling it with lots of materials that may have otherwise ended up in landfill and would be maybe considered junk by many people. So here's my first junk journal that I ever made. I just want to show you a couple of different variants. So this book here, I used a little golden book for the front and the back cover, and then I just used some cardstock for the end here, and then I've covered it in vintage fabrics. Now this one has got two signatures in it. Okay, signatures are basically the section of paper. Now this would be basically a step up from what we're going to do today, which is just one signature, and that is the journal itself. Okay, in here I've used all kinds of different papers to create. I've even used some fabric in there. So with journals you can go as detailed or as simple as you want. So I've just used some old music paper, some old scrapbooking paper, some pages from the actual golden book that I've used for the cover. You can really make it your own. There are no rules. If someone tells you there are rules in junk journaling, don't listen to them. So today I'm going to show you how to bind this single seam junk journal with embroidery thread, and we're going to use some washi tape for detail, and then we're going to decorate the cover. And we're not going to go into the middle part of the journal. I'll leave that up to you. You can decorate that however you want. I will be sharing more pages like layouts and double spreads and things using my supplies, so you can maybe get some ideas down the track. So definitely subscribe to my channel if you're interested in seeing more videos on junk journaling. But for this one, we're just going to put the journal together and we're going to decorate the front page. Let's get into it.
So this is the kit you will have received, or you will receive if you purchase it. First up, we've got 3 different washi tapes. That is what we use for the spine detail and some little detail on the front cover. Then we've got some embroidery thread, the awl, which I prefer to call the stabby tool. My daughter says that's not the right thing to call it. An embroidery needle, and the little push pad to use for when you're making the holes. A couple of sheets of old book pages. Then we have a black fine liner, which is just handy to have. You can use that on your cover if you want, or you might just like to keep it for the actual journaling itself. Then you've got 5 A4 sheets of this craft paper, which I have pre-folded, ready to go. Now you could add in extra papers like music sheets or pattern papers in there if you wanted, or just leave it as is. So I've also got 6 little A5 or just under A5 sized pattern papers here. These are my own designs that come exclusively with this kit. This last page here is what I have used for the cover of my journal. As you can see, I've just made the edge a scallop border. Then we've got our vintage Kitsch animal collection. So I've got the smaller versions, which is 9 to a page. And then you've got 2 pages, which are slightly bigger. The lamb, as you can see on the bigger version, is what I have used on the cover. So you can then use any of those images throughout the journal. And if you like those images, you can also just buy them as a digital download by themselves on my website. So to assemble your journal, first what you want to do is get your pages, line them up so that they're nice and even. Then you want to clamp your sheets together so they don't move around while you're making the holes and embroidering the seam together. So I just use these little mini clamps. You could use bulldog clips, or even larger paper clips would also probably work well for this. Then once your pages are secure, get your little piece of foam, put it underneath where you're going to be pushing through the hole. You could pre-mark where you want to put the holes in. I usually just eyeball it. So I put one right in the center, then one halfway between the center and the top of the paper, and then one halfway down between the bottom of the paper and the middle as well. Then once you've got your holes done, remove the push pad and set up your embroidery thread and your embroidery needle. You've been given a really generous amount of embroidery thread. You definitely won't need it all, but it's better to have more than less. Now, I just usually wet with my saliva the end and get it through that way. You might want to use one of those thread helpers that gets it through the needle a little bit easier. Now we're just doing a very, very simple binding here. You could obviously take it as detailed as you wanted, but this is just a really simple one. So we start on the middle, on the inside, pull it through to the outside, then go back in through the top hole, carefully pulling full. Remember to hold that thread so it doesn't come out of the needle. Leave about, I would say about 3 inches if you're going in inches, or say 10 centimeters if you're going in centimeters. Then down the very bottom, all the way to the bottom, and then back out to the other side, and then flip it over and then come back in through the middle. Now make sure it's really nice and tight, and then just tie it in a double knot so that it's not going to come undone. Then just chop off any excess. I do leave a little bit of a tail. I think it just adds to the character of the junk journal. So you can make that little string as long or as short as you want. Then I just pop my sharp tools back on the push pad so I don't lose them, which I do have tendency to do. Then you can remove your clamps or your bulldog clips, and now we're ready to start decorating the cover. So the first thing we're going to do is give our edge a decorative finish with the washi tapes. So you will find in this kit, I've included 3 different designed washi tapes. They may not be exactly the designs that I'm using in this video, but they are all Kate Mason washi tapes. Kate Mason is an Australian artist from South Australia, and I stock many of her washi tape designs. Please do have a look at my art and craft supply section on the website and you will see her beautiful washi tapes in there. Now just position your washi tape as close to the end as you can. You don't want to cover the embroidery thread though, and you have got enough in the kit to go slightly over at the top and at the bottom. If you don't get the positioning perfect, don't worry, just very gently remove the washi tape and try again. As long as you're careful with the washi tape, it shouldn't pull up the paper and it shouldn't tear. It's pretty easy to work with. And then I just fold that over just like that. You'll find once you start decorating the inside journal cover, you will cover those little edges like I have here in that example. Now we're just going to turn the journal over and repeat that exact same process with our next washi tape. I find it easiest to get the washi tape in position if I've got the spine end closest to me. And then once again, we're just going to flip it over and then fold the excess tape so that it flips into the inside cover. Next up, we are going to start adding the pattern paper, which will be that scalloped edge in the background there. Now, first, what you need to do is get the positioning of your paper right so that you know where to cut it. I'm just initially folding over the edge so I know where to cut it, because if you have a look at the original one, it doesn't go all the way to the top and the bottom because I've left room for some doodling with my gel pens there. If you didn't want to add doodling with gel pens or any other pen, you could just have that scalloped background paper all the way from the top to the bottom. But if you decide to do it exactly like I'm showing in the kit here, just fold those edges over and then cut that excess off. Now we are up to the scalloped edge. Now I usually just wing it and just freehand cut the scalloped. If you're not comfortable with doing that, get a fine liner or a pencil and turn the paper over and just draw that scalloped edge on. Then you can follow that line to cut it. If you're not confident to do a freehand scalloped edge, you can get rulers from craft supply stores that have some scalloped edges on them, so you could use that, or I would suggest just use a pencil. Take your time, and if you're not happy with it, just rub it out and try again. But remember, with junk journaling, it doesn't have to be perfect. The beauty of junk journals is that they're imperfectly perfect, and they show your personality through the creative process. So now if you've hand drawn your scallop, this is where you've got your scissors and follow that outline. Now you're about to see my brain just go rogue. I love cutting paper out, and I find it really relaxing if I'm just freestyle cutting. And as you can see, I have not followed my own line work here. I felt like the scallops just wanted to be bigger than what they're showing in my outline. So I've just completely forgotten about that and turned it over, and I'm just doing the scalloped edges how it comes naturally. So always breaking the rules of my own self. So you can do it this way if you want, just wing it, or you can do it where you actually cut out along the lines that you create. Then next up, you're just going to position it to where you want it to sit on the page. And then before gluing that background paper down, I'm actually going to cut out the lamb as well and position that. So I usually just do a rough cut around a fussy cut before I go in with the detail. It just makes it easier to hold the paper. So I highly recommend that. Just cut it down a little bit easier to hold, and then do your final line work. Now I'm just manually making these corners rounded, even though it's actually a pointy end on the image itself. You could do it this way, or if you've got one of those corner punches, which I actually do have but could not find mine today during this video, then you could absolutely use that instead. I've actually got it in my Amazon storefront, link in the description under craft supplies or paper craft supplies. You'll find my favorite corner punch in there. It's really, really good because it comes in 3 separate sizes. So now I'm working out exactly where I want my little lamb image to sit. I'm happy with that. Now also you could ink the edges of the background scallop paper and the lamb if you wanted to add a little bit of depth. I didn't have any ink handy, and sometimes I just prefer a cleaner finish. So I've just gone straight onto gluing these pieces down. Now I've just used a glue stick. You could use any type of craft glue that you normally use. You could even use some foam dots to give even more depth between the lamb and the background paper, but again, I've just used a good quality glue stick for today. Once you've got your glue or double-sided tape on, just be really careful. Don't slam it down. Just get it right into position first and then press down so she's nice and secure. Next up, we're just going to add some more little details just to finish off this beautiful cover, and we're going to be using some more washi tape. This washi tape that I have in this kit is slightly different to the one I used on the original. It's still, again, Kate Mason. This one I think is Scandi Houses, and it's really cool. It's got nice pinks through it as well. Now, because this washi tape is quite thick, which worked for the spine, but I don't want it to be super thick as the detail on the cover part. So I'm just cutting it in half down the middle. Again, you can do this. Just be very gentle with the washi tape. It will let you move it around. Even if it gets stuck together, as long as you're gentle, you can generally pull it back apart. So I'm just doing a little bit on the sides here, just between the pattern paper and the lamb, as if it's actually what is holding those pieces of paper together. Again, giving it a really junk journal-y vibe. And then we're going to do the same thing on the top and the bottom. And now that we've finished that detail, the next thing we're going to do is cut out some little hearts with the book pages that are included in the kit, as well as doing some doodling with these acrylic gel pens by Life of Colour. They just pop out so beautifully, vibrantly on the craft coloured paper, or any other coloured paper for that matter. Today I'm using the pink and the turquoise or teal colour. Now I do sell these markers on my website, so again, if you look under the art and craft supplies section on the website, you'll find them. I love them so much. They're my favourite thing to use. Just be mindful when you're using them, you need to wait a little bit for them to dry, otherwise they will smudge. I've actually done this a little bit backwards. Normally I would start at the top left corner of any design that I'm working on, where I'm using gel pens or acrylic paint pens of any kind actually, because I know if I'm starting at the top left as a right-handed person, that's least likely way for me to smudge my designs. But instead for this video, I decided to start at the bottom for some reason, but we're just going to go through with it. So I'm just doing some freehand little scalloped edges, and then so the bigger, higher ones is just the line, and then I'm doing a smaller one and coloring it in. Then we'll turn it up the other way and do the other end. And then we're just moving on to the little teal hearts. In the original design, I did the hearts in all of the gaps of the scallops. However, today I've just kind of gone rogue and done them where I felt like doing them. So you can do that too. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I love doodling because it's very relaxing and calming, because I'm not thinking about the end result, and I know it's going to be imperfect but still look really cool once there's lots of designs all together. And then for some extra detail, we're going to just do some little dots in the teal on the pattern paper as well. I feel like that gives it a little bit of a fabric feel. And then that's the end of the doodling component for what I wanted to do. You could go to town with the doodling if you wanted to. Now we're up to the little love hearts. So again, I just generally freestyle and cut hearts however I feel like cutting them at the moment. If you are not comfortable with that, you could either use a heart-shaped paper punch, or you could use a pencil to get your nice shape before cutting. Then before gluing down, just position it on the page to make sure that you're happy with how it looks. This one is quite big, so I decided to use the pink gel pen just to give it a little dash border to give it almost a little bit of a stitched fabric feel. Then we're just going to glue those down and stick them onto the page. Again, this could be a good opportunity to use some foam dots to give it a raised surface, but I'm just sticking down with a glue stick today. And then we have our
finished journal and our journal cover. Now you can start filling the inside. If you're not sure what to do, you could use your journal as an actual journal. So record daily thoughts. If you're stuck on something, I often love to just say, you know, tell me what I need to know, and just start writing and see what comes out. It's really good. Or you could use photos and make it into a little mini scrapbooking album. You could make it into more of an art journal where it's just exploring creativity and drawing and coloring and painting maybe. Another one I love to do, which I'll show you in this one, I love to do quotes. So like this one here that I've started, I've just done some quotes. So that one's really simple. I've just written the actual quote, stuck in some birdies and put some lace in there. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, or if you have any questions or feedback for this particular tutorial. And thank you so much for watching. If you've got anyone else in your life that you think might benefit from watching my videos, please feel free to share. And yeah, all the links for these products, this kit and other products I sell are down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.